But there are other disgruntled players across the league. Obviously, Chris Jones has held out of OTAs. There's another player, big name player, a star who's holding out from OTAs. That's Stephon Diggs up in New York for the Buffalo Bills. And this is a much different situation than Chris Jones because he's already signed a deal. He signed a 4-year, $90 million extension last season. He's 1 year into that deal. So he's got 3 years left, including this year, for the $90 million total. And he is skipping. And his head coach in the opening OTA's presser said that it is very concerning to be missing Stephon Diggs.
You actually is he actually holding out though? Like if he's under contract, how is he really holding out?
Chris Jones is under contract, but he hasn't showed up. He's holding out. You can hold out for many different reasons. Typically, it's used for like the financial side, right? But if you're not showing up to mandatory practice, you get fined for not being there. That is considered a holdout. We just don't know what the
Interesting.
holdout is
Because I
for.
mean
We obviously it's
Chris
not
Jones is
financial.
essentially he's in the last year of his deal and he's holding out for an extension.
Right. Correct.
Stephon Diggs is in the second year of a 4-year deal. You're just gonna get fined. Am I wrong? Like
No. He's just
what
getting fined, but there's got to be some sort of message behind it. Now, that message would have to be
how is
like
he leveraging his situation at all? Like what positive is gonna come out of this for him?
that's the question because we don't know exactly why this is happening, right? Why is he what sort of leverage is
He's
he trying
tired
to
of
pull?
losing
He's tired
AFC
of losing.
championship games
That's
and
that's what
playoff
it is.
games
He's
and
tired of not being able to make it to the big one. Tired of we heard him berate his team at the end of last season when they lost in the playoffs to the Bengals. He was yelling on the sideline at his coach and his quarterback. He's holding out for reasons that are not financial but team related.
plot twist, he pulls a KD and joins the Bengals.
Think he go to the Bengals though?
Stephon Diggs to the Bengals.
They have the money.
No, I mean
They're
they
not going to
don't,
have the money.
but some way somehow.
Sean,
I
what's your
mean,
take on the Stephon Diggs issue?
It's very interesting, but nothing can come of it. All the money that's tied up for him in the Bills organization, they owe him way too much to really get rid of him or do anything with him. So kind of stuck there.
And I don't think it's to get rid of him. I don't think this holdout is not for him to like find a new
I mean, he's
place.
already back
It
in
has,
practice too. So
yeah. Is he? I hadn't
yeah,
seen that. Well, who knows then?
dang, you really
Threw a
took a wind
wrench
out of
in
Ty
there.
Bob sales
Thanks,
there.
dude. Man, I was happy he wasn't showing up. It
When
was
did he
disgruntled.
report?
day 2.
The day 2, yeah.
He was there all for day
Wow.
1 except for the practice. He just left.
Was he
Day
really?
2.
Why was this? Why was this such a big thing in the news? Why was the coach saying that he was concerned that?
Because he was there, then he left right before practice started.
Maybe you just picked up on a soundbite and got led astray.
I mean, it was all over Twitter. It was all over ESPN. It hit every radio station. It was being covered by everyone.
Well, also NFL is king, and NBA finals are over, and the NHL Stanley Cup is over. So, gotta talk about something.
Fair. They also did talk about Chris Jones holding out. Obviously, that's financial related. There's not too much to talk about that. I mean, I think he's just strictly staying away to make sure the deal gets done and doesn't get injured. He made it to the White House. They're doing the ring ceremony today. They get the rings at Arrowhead today, with the GEHA inscribed into the ring, which I think is a little ridiculous. So obviously he'll probably be there, but yeah, not showing up to practice. How much do you think his deal is going to be worth? Do you think he's going to be number 1? Do you think he's going to be number 2? Are we waiting on the Quinnen Williams deal? What are you guys thinking?
He's going to be number 2. I don't think he wants the money, but I don't think he's willing to fork over everything that the Chiefs have left for not being able to sign anybody else. He may try to go for more money now since they didn't re-sign Frank Clark, but
Bring back the shark. Do you think that makes him want more money?
He's like, if you guys aren't going to bring back
You
Frank,
didn't bring
I'm
my
going to get
friend
my
back.
bag.
Yeah.
I was going to take a little bit less to bring Frank back, but not now.
I think he's going for number one. I think he's going for more than Aaron Donald, about 30 to 31.
I could see him getting 28 to 30.
I think it'll be he's what, 28, so probably 3-year deal. Try to get one more payday before he's out of the league.
Why not?
There's always something, man. We can't just have like a perfect scenario as fans. Can't have our cake and eat it too, you know? Like I really hope this doesn't drive a wedge in between Kansas City and Chris Jones. I would really hate to see the latter half or the latter part of his career just get soured by like a team dispute or something like that.
I don't think it will. They're obviously working on the deal, and I think waiting for the Quentin Williams deal to get done is probably the largest factor because that man's going to get paid, and he definitely deserves to get paid more than Quentin Williams. So I think they're on the right track, just kind of waiting and getting this done. It's not imminent at the moment, and we'll kind of have to wait for what the next set of practice to start in a week or so. Kind of see where this whole thing's at. So the Chiefs, like I said, are getting their rings tonight. Something else that happened today, Chiefs draftee, now rookie, Rashee Rice has been finally signed to his rookie deal.
Let's go.
I think that's everyone. If not, we're missing like one or two. But I think that might be every rookie has finally signed their deal.
Every important one.
Fair. Fair. I should say all the drafted rookies.
I'm
Should say all
just
the
mad.
drafted rookies. All the undrafted don't really matter.
I'll say he's probably going to be the best wide receiver taken in the second round or later this year.
Oh, what a hot take.
We've heard that before.
Oh,
Harry Hardman.
you're talking about your homeboy over there, Mims. Was it?
Well, I mean, yeah, I love Mims, but I was just saying we've heard that before with Kerry McCole Hardman.
Yeah, no, he's gonna have much better year than Mims.
Interesting take.
He won't play that much, but he's gonna have a much better year.
I'm willing to bet just because the way the room is set up. This take will change if we do sign D Hop. But Rashee Rice could very easily be in the top 3 of rookie wideouts this upcoming season.
What you have him at where starting the season? At what wide receiver? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is he at on the depth chart starting the season?
Look, if you watched Kansas City football last year, you'd know that the depth chart isn't
I think
that important. We have different packages where like they'll bundle 2 guys together and they'll bring those duos in and out. And Rice is going to play. Tony and Sky Moore and MVS, they can't shoulder full time. And let me just put it this way: MVS isn't good enough to be a number 1 receiver on the field every down. You know, he's got some gadgets, he's got some moves in the bag, but like if you see that a whole game, like DBs are going to catch on. Okay, like that's it. Like you play certain moves on certain routes. You save certain moves for like certain points in the game. Okay, like I was never a receiver, so I don't necessarily have a whole lot of personal experience. But like if I'm going to relate to my playing time on the defensive line, like if I'm caging a lot, if I'm winning with a bull rush or whatever, and the offensive line makes an adjustment, I'm gonna wait till a key moment to you know pin and swim or pin and rip or something like that. Like I'm gonna wait till a key point in the game to switch up my move. Okay. MVS doesn't have a deep enough bag to be a number 1 wide receiver. So the Chiefs are going to continue this package system where MVS is paired with, let's say, Sky Moore, and Kadarius Toney is paired with Rice, and we're going to get different looks because we're going to switch up our personnel instead of somebody waiting to get deep in their bag or something like that. And that type of production in this high volume passing offense, Rice is going to have a hell of a year if he builds that rapport with Mahomes and just is a viable option for him because Mahomes is going to feed the ball to the people that will fucking catch it.
Now, speaking of that, do you think there's going to be a moment in time this year or in the future very soon that we will not be sending out packages of players at a time all the time? We're going to have one guy out there.
It's who we are. Even if we get D Hop, he's not going to stay on the field as much as you saw him in Arizona.
I got to throw a wrench in that statement because while I agree we do run packages for different personnel and different situations, go back and look at the snap counts. Who are our number one and number two receivers the entire year? It's even starting at the beginning of the season. It was Juju Smith-Schuster and MVS. What was it when the season ended? It was those same two guys, and they outsnapped every other receiver. So while I agree with you, MVS is not a number one. I don't even think MVS is a number two. He can play that role when need be. They do have a depth chart that plays the majority of where it needs to be played. It may be based week to week. It may be based on specific packages for situations. But when it comes down to who's number one, who's number two, who's number three, and so on and so forth, the snaps reflect that.
I mean, as far as position players, Travis Kelce is the only one that outsnaps everybody by like a super, super long shot. Our the wide receivers that were on the field got mixed up a lot last year.
A lot.
Justin Watson was on the field a lot when he was healthy.
Also due to injury.
He's still out there, man.
It's fair. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying like there is a depth chart and they do tend to stick to it when it comes to at least the top two guys. Speaking, so we've got Rashee Rice. Where are you guys that draft pick? Where do you think in the fold, whether it's by snap count, whatever, however you want to say it in a depth chart way, where do you think he ends up on this team beginning of the season?
I think competing for the second or third wide receiver spot is a realistic outcome.
He would be competing against MVS for that two spot, is what you think.
MVS and Sky Moore, like he's going to be in that mix. Realistically, he's going to stay at 4. If Sky Moore is improving at the rate that we think he is, MVS already has the rapport. Kadarius Toney already has the rapport. But I think he's good enough to not be ignored.
I think he'll start low, but he'll finish very high.